Tennessee Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen now joins us from Memphis. Congressman, the Speaker is trying to sound optimistic, but just look at your own state. There are at least 2 House seats in play. The governor's mansion likely to flip to the Republicans. Some say that this could be the end of the Dixiecrat South once this election is over and Tennessee goes Republican.
Well, I don't know about the Dixiecrat South. I guess that ended when we signed the Voting Rights Act in 1965, and Lyndon Johnson said, "I'm giving away the South." Lyndon Johnson did the right thing. He lost votes politically. But I think throughout the country, Speaker Pelosi's probably right. Races are determined by the candidates in those districts. Our Democratic congresspeople have done a great job staying in touch with their constituents and voting issues that are important at home. We've got great candidates. I wouldn't say Speaker Pelosi's wrong. She knows the numbers. She gets the vote. She's been an outstanding vote getter in the House of Representatives, and I think she knows what's going on around the country in our members' seats. The Democrats will gain support as the election gets closer because people are going to see the realities that the Republicans just want to go backwards and destroy the gains that women have made, that we've made on credit card reform, health care reform, Wall Street reform. All these will be cut back. And we're talking about an extremely wealthy group that want to set up a plutocracy, spending unheard of amounts of money, not being disclosed, to try to affect elections throughout this country. And the American people aren't going to stand for it. They'll get out and vote with their feet and see that the numbers count, not the dollars.
Well, what are you seeing down there? Because you represent a majority African-American district, and one of the key factors in this election is whether minority voters who supported the president so importantly in 2008 are going to be inspired to come out. Midterm elections is usually a big drop-off in minority voting.
There's no question that midterm elections have a drop-off for young voters and African Americans who were so important to the 2008 victories. But they have the most at stake. The opportunity for jobs, the work we've done for health care, for public education and Pell Grants and better student loans help the middle class so much more than anybody else. They have what's at stake because the middle class is under attack. Young people on those too. So we're trying to get our vote out here at African American vote. Throughout the country they need to get out. You know, John Lewis, one of my colleagues, marched and was beaten in Selma, Alabama on the Petty's Bridge to get voting, to get the right to vote. He and Dr. King saw to it that 1965 Voting Rights Act was passed. And I submit to you the African American population I know and throughout this country is not going to let the work of those great civil rights pioneers be forgotten. And they're going to do their part, which is simply marching to the polls. They don't have to march against the Alabama state troopers, march on those bridges, march against dogs. Just walk to the polling booth and make your vote and support President Barack Obama. And African Americans are going to do that this year.
Well, whether they do or not is really going to be the test of the election results and whether the House gets retained. Steve Cohen, thank you very much for joining us today. Good to see you.
Thank you, Andrea. Good to be with you.
Well, thank you.